How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video on my channel, and today I'm going to be expressing my thoughts of Brighton's loss versus Chelsea at the Amex Stadium last night. Now, if you don't already know, Brighton actually lost 3-1 against Chelsea in a game where we should never have lost. But before we go further into this video, there's one thing you guys should do, and that is to download OneFootball. Obviously, we're sponsored yet again, OneFootball with a new contract. If you're not already downloaded OneFootball, make sure you do so with the first thing in the description. The app provides all your latest, obviously, scores. It's got all your transfer news. It's got everything you need football related. And even if you want to follow a team in Belarus, you're going to get all the live scores and updates. Trust me, download OneFootball, it will not disappoint you. Now onto the video. And I've also got to say, I've actually hit 20,000 subscribers thanks to yesterday's Brighton versus Chelsea live stream. So from the bottom of my heart, I really want to thank all of your guys' support. To get it 20,000, it's another huge milestone for myself. So thank you very much for all your continued support. It doesn't go unnoticed, and I'm really, really appreciative for it. So yeah, a quick disclaimer, my voice is sounding a bit rough and all this. I'm losing my voice slightly, and it's sounding a bit more low, which is probably a good sign for myself, considering my voice is actually quite high. So make do for today. My voice is not sounding the best due to last night's live stream, but onto the video we go with the 5 points and 5 things which could have went wrong or proceeding to the season we got to get into. Let's go. So the first point is obviously going to be about Taric Lacazette. Now, what a performance he performed last night. He should have got man of the match last night. He was fantastic, and in my opinion, in the next few years to come, he's going to be the best English right back. Mark my words, don't even at me on that one, because I generally think I'll be correct. And you guys, I've seen a lot of clips on Twitter. It's kind of going viral on Twitter with a few clips and highlights I've seen from last night. Everyone is loving Taric Lacazette. Now, I've said this since the very first game he played for Brighton against Leicester away from home. I've got to say he's an absolutely fantastic player. He can take on people with the pace. He can obviously dribble past people. He can take on and move with transitions from defence to attack. This guy is the real deal and is the perfect replacement for Montoya. Now, the one thing Taric Lacazette has got to do is stay fit for Brighton for the whole season. If he can stay fit, then this would be an incredible season for Taric Lacazette, and I generally think he might even win Player of the Year for Brighton. Everyone thinks of right backs and right wing backs just to do their defensive duties, but their attacking duties is just as important as their defensive. Now, this is what Taric Lacazette actually brings to the team. He can take on people, and he's actually got a few skill moves under his locker. I've seen a few around the world, and I've seen a few Maradonas in the game. I'm not going to lie to you. So Taric Lacazette, mate, if you watch this video, you're a baller, mate. On my away shirt, you're going on the back of my shirt from that performance. And to be fair, every performance you play for Brighton, you've always performed to your best ability, and you're only 19 years old. 19. Can I just reiterate the fact that he's actually 19 years old, 1 year above me. I'm sat here on the table eating my pies. And he's there as a professional footballer, getting all the praise in England. His dribbling and vision on the ball is absolutely ridiculous. Off the ball, he knows where to be position-wise. He's absolutely fantastic. I know I'm saying all this positivity about Lacazette, and I know I'm probably putting a lot of pressure on him for the games to come, but you got to understand how good this player is. If you don't understand how good Taric Lacazette is, then you got to watch the highlights of last night's game. Not only last night, just watch all Brighton's highlights from the first game at Arsenal, where he didn't actually play. Leicester away, that's the one. Now, here's a strong statement I want to say on video, and hopefully in the future to come, this will be correct. So in my opinion, and I want to say this on video so you guys can remember, is the fact that I think Kyle Walker, when he does retire from England, I reckon this is where Taric Lacazette will come in and replace Kyle Walker in the England squad, and this is where he'll get the consecutive runouts when England do play in their national duties. It's a strong statement to say, but I know and I understand Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's in the England squad, and he's got bags of quality. You saw he had like the second most assists last season, or might have even had the most assists last season. I'm not too sure, but I've got to see the stats to make sure of that. But anyway, a positive to take from last night is the fact that Taric Lacazette yet again proved the nation and proved Brighton and proved everyone and every football fan that he is one of the best right backs in the world. And I'd actually love to say that I'm exaggerating. Now, I know it's a strong statement to have saying that he's one of the best right backs in the world, but honestly, I think fans would understand. Anyway, moving on to the second point, and it's just the time where Solly March has to leave Brighton. Now, it must be said he's been heavily linked to a move away from Brighton, and that club being West Ham. Now, West Ham have obviously got a lot of issues in the club right now, so will he sign for West Ham? I'm not too sure, but Solly March, yet again, I just don't think he performed to his best ability last night. Defensively, I think Solly March is actually quite good in his duties, but when he goes to attacking, it's something in his brain where he's a bit nervous going forward and driving with the ball. Attacking wise, showing that end product, I'm not sure what it is. He's got like that mental block in his brain. I'm not too sure. He just stops or stutters. I'm not too sure. Pretty much from my speaking right now, I pretty much stutter everywhere I go. But defensively, he's very solid, but attacking wise, he's just not right. His end product is not the best. You see his crosses, they sometimes go too far over, too short. They don't really find that man in the box, and that's where Morpay, he's got to have the service to obviously finish his dinner. And that's what Lacazette did in the first half, and unfortunately, Morpay couldn't finish. So this is where I think Solly March may have to leave Brighton if Brighton find a replacement left back. we need to sign a fullback anyway. So we need to sign 2 fullbacks in my opinion. Solly March can do it defensively, but attacking wise it's a bit 50-50. So do Brighton just take the money for Solly March and run away with it now? Or do we actually keep him and progress him and especially develop his attacking style? And to be fair, he's more of a winger than left back in the last few years, but he hasn't really shown that. He's more showing that his defensive abilities is actually quite class. So my third point is that we played fantastically despite losing the game against Chelsea. Now the first half it was all Brighton, yet we were going into half time 1-0 down. I don't understand it. Obviously I do understand it because Alzate unfortunately made a mistake. It was not Matty Ryan's fault whatsoever. If anyone thinks it's Matty Ryan's fault, then rethink and rewatch the footage. Alzate had a lot of time on the ball. He panicked, he passed it wrong, it was into the player. Werner was through and Matty Ryan took him out to be a penalty for Chelsea. Brighton had 13 shots to Chelsea's 10. I mean, you just look at the stats here, it's ridiculous. We had more corners. I'm not saying corners actually count to it. We had more passes, obviously. Possession was 52%. We were honestly so much better than Chelsea. Chelsea didn't provide any real threat. They had 3 lucky goals. And I'm going to say lucky because I will explain through them now. Now, the first goal, it was a mistake from us. And if you make mistakes in the Premier League, you're going to get punished. The second goal, we literally just equalised. And then James pulls off with literally a goal he will not score again. Probably in his career. It was a goal out of... it was a miracle. It was a miracle. He literally had all the time in his world. We tried to close him down. He hits a shot off. Probably expected it to end row Z. And the next thing you know, it flies into the top right-hand corner. Now, the third goal, Matty Ryan would have happily had that. But Adam Webster, it deflected off him. And it went into the back of the net for 3-1. We should never have lost that game. Dunk had a free header to put for 2-2. And if he scored that, it would have been a different game. And I generally would have backed the boys to go and win it 3-2. But was it the case? It was not. But we could take so many positives from this game. And I'm delighted to say that I'm actually very proud of Brighton from last night's performance. It was not bad at all. And I'm very proud that Brighton, we could take a lot of positives going to Newcastle away next week. My point number 4 is that Lallana will be a huge miss for Brighton. Now, unfortunately, I've made a mug of myself. In my video about Lallana, I said that he would not get injured. This is his time where he's going to break through for Brighton. He's going to break through in his career and actually have a successful period where he will not get injured. However, 41 minutes into his Brighton Premier League debut, he pulled up with an injury, which I actually don't know what it's about. Is it a calf, hamstring? I do not know, but I reckon it could be his calf with the way he's taking his shin pads and tape off. Now, if you want to know a stat, 41 minutes Lallana played for Brighton, and he created more chances than any of the Chelsea players did in 90 minutes. Now, one thing I must mention is Kai Havertz. He had an absolute shocker against Brighton. I'm not sure what he was playing at, but he just had a shot. I know it was offside in the end, but he had a shot, went out for a throw-in. But he also tried to switch the play and actually ended up for a throw-in too, which went miles away from the actual wing on the other side, which was hilarious to see. So Kai Havertz's performance on that day, I must say, 2 out of 10, and that could be generous to him. But I must say, any Chelsea fans watch this video, I understand that he's moving into a different environment, different style of football being in the Premier League, different environment, different players, everything like that. I understand completely. So I'm not hating on Kai Havertz because I think he's an absolutely phenomenal player. He'll definitely do well at Chelsea, but I just needs that time to gel him to the squad. Now back to Lallana, and it's going to be a huge miss for Brighton, and I just can't reiterate that enough. We bought off, obviously, Lallana for Aaron Connolly. Aaron Connolly didn't really do much for the whole of the game, and that's nothing bad to say about Connolly. It's just we didn't have that creative spark going forward into that second half. We bought on Pascal Gross, but that really didn't do much for attacking line, threading the balls through and everything like that. It wasn't to be. Lallana's injured, and hopefully not for long, because it's going to be a huge miss for Brighton. And generally, and I mean this, if Lallana stayed on for the full 90, I generally think things would have been different. Lallana was stringing the balls through. He was honestly finding them gaps and transitions from defence to attack or attack to defence. He was doing that so well, and he's going to be a huge miss for Brighton. So moving on to the final point, but Adam Lallana, if you're watching this, or you're probably not, but all the best for your recovery, and hopefully you're not out for too long. Now, my fifth and final point is about Graham Potter's playing style. It is too good for Brighton to go down, and I'm telling you now, we should have won against Chelsea. We should have got something from Chelsea, but it wasn't the case, and unfortunately, we lost 3-1. However, Brighton should have got something from the game. We should have got a win. We should have got a draw. But football is football. If you make mistakes, you get punished, and that unfortunately was the case last night. And we have to move and learn from this, obviously, from this game. But we could take so many more positives and negatives from it. We showed so much fight. We showed so much passion for winning every 50-50. For all of them sort of things for Brighton in that game yesterday, we really did show him. We wanted to put on a great performance for the first game of the season, but you know what? It didn't disappoint. We may have lost 3-1, but despite the result, we played so well. Everyone's backing Brighton to go down, but the performance yesterday, we are not going down. I'm telling you this now, if we consistently put performances in like that, week in, week out, Brighton and Hove Albion will be in a Premier League club for next year. I asked my dad on stream yesterday where Brighton will finish. He said 8th or 9th. I think he's joking, but he's actually not. He thinks we're generally going to finish 8th and 9th, and he's the most realistic fan I know. I kid you not. But if you want to know my opinion, I think Brighton will finish 12th or 13th. But the possession style of football we played last night against Chelsea, bearing in mind they should be a top 4 club, We were tiki-taka-ing the lot around the place. All this Frank Lampard ball, we were playing so well. We got the ball and released it, got the ball, released it, got the ball, released it. And that is Graham Potter's style. We were literally going attacking, in, out, in, out. I generally thought at one point we were going to score a goal like Arsenal did against Norwich with a tiki-taka, ball over the top. And there it is, Wilshere for the tapping. But it wasn't to be. I thought it was going to be the same scenario, but for Lallana to score in the first half, as that was the time frame it was at. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case. But Brighton, you got to have my round of applause. I'm so proud to wear this shirt. It's a new shirt for the 2020-21 season. They wore the shirt with fight, passion and desire to go out and win the game. And unfortunately, it wasn't the case. But you have not let down any Brighton fans whatsoever. The performance was fantastic. And I'm mega proud of that performance and the club last night. We've showed so much progress, and to outplay Chelsea last night, which we did, despite losing. You can't argue that. Any neutral fans watching the game, you'd understand and agree with me at that point. You'd agree to the fact that we generally did outplay Chelsea. And to back this up, and if you don't actually believe me, I'm just going to ask you this question. Other than the 3 goals they scored, what did Chelsea do? Because I don't think they did anything. So in my opinion, there's no negatives to take from this game, other than maybe Solly March's positioning and maybe his performance last night. Do we need to strengthen that area, and do we just take the money from West Ham or a club in the Premier League to let Solly March go? Let me know what your thoughts are on that situation in the comment section. But that is a wrap on this video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, then make sure you drop a like on it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, follow my social medias and subscribe to the Offsiders. And I'll see you guys in another video very soon. Goodbye, guys.